should never have been in this position in the first place. This is because of the failure of the administrations that came before him that never dealt with it to begin with.
I want to ask you about the decision to give the General this unilateral authority to declassify intelligence. The order says the Attorney General should consult with relevant agency heads, but not that he has to. Why did the President not force the Attorney General to consult with the DNI and the head of the CIA? Here he's giving him unilateral authority not to do it, only saying he should do it, but he doesn't have to. Why?
The President has total confidence in the Attorney General and his ability
but not
to
the
make
intelligence
those decisions.
community?
We expect certainly, that's why we expect that the Attorney General will consult with them on matters that he needs that guidance and advice from them. Certainly, they work in lockstep on a number of things. I don't see this to be any different. The bottom line here is there was a lot of corruption at the FBI and the DOJ. We see constantly more and more things that have come out of that. And the President wants transparency, and he's given the Attorney General the ability to put that transparency in place, make those decisions, and we're not at all concerned that the Attorney General is not going to do everything that is necessary to make sure we're protecting important intelligence that is vital to our national security.
I'm trying to understand what outcome the President expects. He tweeted the following: "My campaign for president was conclusively spied on. Nothing like this has ever happened in American politics, a really bad situation. Treason means long jail sentences, and this was treason." Why did the President ask the Attorney General to do an investigation if he's already come to a conclusion, already decided what the penalty should be, and I think has already determined what the jail sentences should be? Isn't this the President already playing judge and jury and putting his thumb on the scale here for whatever investigation he claims he wants Mr. Barr to do?
That's pretty rich coming from the media, who relentlessly covered and accused the President for 2 years of being part of this massive election interference, something that never took place. The idea that anybody now says that the President doesn't have the right, and not only that Americans deserve the truth, to push back and find out where all of this started is absurd. Literally, for day after day after day, the media and Democrats in Congress called the President a traitor to his own country and said that he cheated to become president. I mean, the idea of that is absolutely outrageous, that he had to endure that for 2 years, and now he wants to know where and why it started, and all of a sudden that's a big deal. That is insane.
Sarah, I
think
didn't ask about him.
Exactly what he should
Sarah,
be. And I
did
think
not
America
ask.
is glad
Sarah,
that he's asking for that transparency.
I didn't ask whether he should ask those questions. He's not asking questions anymore. He's already made a judgment. That is much different. Will he accept a result of the Attorney General saying, you know what, everything was done legally and on the up and up, Mr. President? Will he accept that result from Bill Barr?
We already know that there was an outrageous amount of corruption that took place at the FBI. They leaked information. They lied. They were specifically working, trying to take down the President, trying to hurt the President. We'll leave the final call up to the Attorney General, and he'll get to the bottom of it. But we think Americans deserve the truth.
So
the President's asked for that, and we should expect nothing less. So
the President is not going to accept exoneration if that's what Bill Barr finds?
Look, I'm not going to get ahead of what the final conclusion is, but we already know that there was a high level of corruption that was taking place. We've seen that in the IG investigation that's already happened, but there's a lot more there that we still need to know, and we're going to let the Attorney General do his job.
Well, it sounds like you're not. That's my point. It doesn't sound like you want him to do his job. It sounds like the President has already determined the outcome.
Chuck, that's the reason that he's granted the Attorney General the authority to declassify that information, to look at all the documents necessary, is so that we can get to the very bottom of what happened. Once again, we already know about some wrongdoing. The President's not wrong in that, but he wants to know everything that happened and how far and how wide it went. We know that there was corruption. Let's see.
Does he expect criminal charges? Does he expect, he's accused James Comey of treason, does he expect Jim Comey to be arrested?
Again, we're going to let the Attorney General make that determination as he gets to the conclusion of this investigation.
So the President And
but we
he's
certainly
not going to
expect the
accept
people that were responsible and that were part of this unprecedented obstruction and corruption at the FBI, those people should certainly be held responsible and be held accountable, and the president expects that to take place.
So he expects an outcome that he wants, not an outcome that the facts lead to.
Chuck, I think you're trying to muddy the waters too much here. We already know, once again, that there was wrongdoing. Now we want to know how much there was. I don't think that's well, I don't think it's crazy to want to know how far and how wide the corruption at the FBI was. And that's what the president has asked the Attorney General to find, and we'll see what happens.
Sarah Sanders, White House Press Secretary in Tokyo for us today. Thanks for coming on and sharing your views. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks, Chuck.
When we come back, the 2020 election and the comparison